Themba, thanks so much for your time. Themba, your investors rather have been very patient with you. But for how long should Group 5 investors and shareholders continue to carry the pain of the company burning cash and eroding value?
Yeah, it's an industry issue, and it has been for quite some time. So we have decided, as you've just mentioned, that we're going to focus more on the businesses that, even for the past 10 years, in fact, have delivered value and delivered good value for shareholders. And then we're going to de-emphasize our focus on those that, have experienced some tough conditions, in particular the EPC business and the construction business. As you would have mentioned also, the main loss that we've experienced this year stems from the contract that we're doing in Ghana. But if you look at the underlying businesses, we still see an improvement. So there is hope even in the current market, particularly with what the president has recently just announced. If the government of South Africa starts spending, we obviously have a lot of hope. But again, key is that we are de-emphasizing that particular side of the business in any case and focusing more on the upstream side of infrastructure development.
I mean, Themba, for some, it's not just an industry issue with construction, it's also a management issue. And I want to take you back to Capone, which looks like your Achilles heel here. What's the way forward regarding Capone, and also in hindsight, was taking this project a mistake?
So Capone is a circa 4 or 5 year old project. It was taken in 5 years ago. When it was taken, the company looked different. The industry looked different. South Africa was pumping, as you would recall. We just came off the 2010 Soccer World Cup build. Revenues were up. The risk-bearing capacity of construction companies were up. So it was the right time to take a project of this nature. But however, we had almost like a perfect storm where a number of things happened that resulted us in the particular conditions that we find ourselves in. And then Pone happened to be our Achilles heel, as you say. But I don't think we did a wrong decision to take it 5 years ago. But if it were to come today, it's a project that we will never take.
All right, so as damage control, you're looking to sell a stake in your crown jewel to get some money. You describe as a partial sale. I mean, how big of a stake are you looking to sell in that investment and concessions business?
Yeah, we sold 50% a year ago. So we retained 50%. So we're going to sell another 40%, so in total we would have sold 90%, and then we'll retain 10% of that business.
Themba, are you confident in your ability to pay your debt? Your lenders are clearly wanting their money back. And also, are you confident in Group 5's going concern status?
We're very confident. We're very confident. I think the fact that we are obviously disposing of 40% of this ICP business in Europe obviously is what gives us the ability to then pay our lenders on that. So we're quite confident that we are a going concern. And I think also, the key thing is that the business itself is not doing bad. We've got one project, one contract that is doing bad, which is the Pond project, but all the other businesses are doing pretty well. So to do this transaction that we're doing on the ICP business does give us the room to then go ahead and fix what we need to fix and continue with a business that's actually doing well. And particularly with our focus in the DNI and the O&M space, where we are actually have delivered consistently for the past number of years.
And remind us again, when will Pone be complete?
So the expected completion date is end of this month. And we obviously we're sparing no effort to ensure that we meet that date.
Right. Finally, you are confident in the president's $400 billion, or I suppose you wish it was dollar, billion rand infrastructure fund. But then how confident are you that this will realize material value for your shareholders?
Look, one of the challenges that we're facing currently, and a lot of construction companies, particularly the big ones, is the fact that the government has not been spending for a number of years. If government is not spending, you lose confidence in the business. The business confidence goes down, and there's no spending from the private sector also. And it becomes a vicious cycle. So if government starts spending, it stimulates activity. And we're quite confident that once that starts, and then we start building buildings, we start building, houses, we start building roads and so forth. It's quite critical for the government to stimulate the activity in the construction space.
And I think the fact that you've decided to freeze dividends doesn't come as a surprise for most people, but surely a lot of shareholders are unhappy. What's the outlook for your dividend policy going forward?
Well, our dividend policy remains the same, 4 times cover. But as you can imagine, we have not been able to deliver profits for 2 years at least. So we have to return to profitability, and then we can start again, sticking to our policy. In fact, we're sticking to our policy as we speak.
And how long will it take for you to return to profits?
So the investment and concession business, which is now split into the development, investment, and O&M business, is profitable. The manufacturing business, although we're disposing of it, is profitable. The business in the rest of Africa, construction in the rest of Africa, was profitable in this half year. Lost money in the first half, but was profitable in the second half, and we expect that to continue. But the construction South Africa business is the one that we obviously still cleaning it up. There's still a lot of work that we need to do, and we will return to profitability in that business. But the key is there is 3 or 4 businesses that are already profitable, and the point is that the business that is has cost us largely is the PON project in Ghana, which we are concluding end of this month. So things should start looking much better for us.
Well, best of luck at Themba. It is a really tough ride, as you do say. That was Themba Mosai, CEO of Group 5.